Hello, Earth and I fam. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So grateful that we have this space together. Sending you deep love and gratitude, and may this serve as your reminder to let go of what is not serving. Truly look at what is holding you back and remember that you can only go forward by releasing what's kept you in the past. You got this. Do what you gotta do. You're divinely supported, and I just want you to know that it's understood that it's not easy, it's difficult, it's uncomfortable, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So, today's video is going to be centered around the topic of honesty. Seeing honesty as a true elevator in a multitude of situations, a diverse realm of possibilities. And we're going to dive into getting in touch with that for ourselves, seeing it in our lives, and really committing to utilizing this tool more and more with ourselves, with others, with the world around us to fully elevate into our highest states of life experience, soul expression. So, honesty is not always an easy thing for a variety of reasons. We've put up a lot of blockages in our own expressions of honesty for lack of acceptance, fear, which all have roots in a lot of relationships. And it's also connected to the state of acceptance that we have within ourselves, within our lives, within our communities. We have put our honesty on the back burner because acceptance is more important. And it's kind of like that human condition that we're dealing with, because it is of human design to be accepted, to have community, to have people who love and accept you exactly as you are. And to what extent are we willing to sacrifice our own truths in order to have that? When we find the space, create the space, I should say, to be honest, we automatically elevate. We automatically enter higher states of consciousness. No matter how minuscule you may feel the situation is, it's the rhythm of the universe. When we open ourselves up truthfully, rawly, and honesty, the universe has no other option than to respond in the same way that we have opened ourselves up, which is purely raw, honest, truthful. God doesn't know what's going on unless we share it. That's what's so powerful about this life experience and about the idea of free will. We can hide, we can shelter things, and we can cut off our communication to God like that. And we can make that a routine for ourselves. Here's an example. When we're in the middle of binge eating, when we just are reaching for the chips, the candy, and how we can utilize this tool of honesty, freeze. I feel really lonely right now. I need some kind of release. It's like the water stills, it clears. As a being, we're seeing the truth of our present moment rather than masking it. No matter how habitual that may feel, no matter how normal the behavior may feel, when we bring honesty in, it completely changes the whole dynamic of a present moment situation. The more that we learn about the ways that we shelter and hide our honesty, the more that we're going to empower ourselves to bring honesty back to the forefront. What's really crazy is that if you're experiencing a lack of honesty with a partner, a parent, a friend, that is rooted in a lack of honesty with yourself, and specifically the part that that person is mirroring to you or that you feel like is being played out in that certain relationship. It all does come back to our own inner communication, our inner dialogues. Shame plays a big part in lack of honesty and failure to be fully honest. And it does happen on a really small scale, which is really crazy. Just even, I'm going to connect this to emotion right now. When we feel an emotion, we experience a situation, it produces an emotion in our field, in our body. We can either be transparent about what just happened, feel it fully, and allow it to pass through. Or we can be in denial, fail to acknowledge what happened, fail to acknowledge the way that we feel, and then that emotion gets trapped in our field, in our body, in our psyche, and that creates patterns, that creates emotional karmic loops. And what, in my reality that I've experienced, that was how I was living. I was not transparent with the way I felt. I was not letting the energy pass through me. I was trying to control it. And when we can swap that control for honesty and rawness, it requires a degree of vulnerability and surrender to this all of everything. Finding that internal divine guidance, that connection to God, that's what brings us through those experiences, because we don't always have to feel small and raw and vulnerable and helpless. That is part of it. That's a beautiful part of it. Learning to create the safety as well is what honesty requires. It has to have some receptive source wholeness in order to truly express itself in full form. Whew. And I would say what I really would like you to take away from this is that realize in the littlest moments, see how you can be more honest. Don't try to filter your thoughts, filter your feelings. That's a way that honesty is limited, because we try to make our thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas fit into boxes that we have deemed as acceptable. That's not how this works. That's not how it's meant to work. That's how we're meant to be controlled. That's how we're meant to control things, but that's not fullness and experience. So call yourself present in little moments and just ask, how can I be more honest? How can I open up more? And a lot that goes into this as well is shedding, because as we open ourselves up as a more honest being, we start shedding the parts of ourselves that have restricted that honesty, and it just happens naturally. Just as when a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, in that process the chrysalis disintegrates and fails to play a role in the butterfly's life, even though it was so significant in the life of the caterpillar. It's all beautifully intertwined. You cannot have one without the other, as above, so below. Where you choose to focus, that's what's really important. Many times we try to focus on what's restricting us in this conversation, in my ability to be honest, what's restricting me. And we call to mind situations, ideas, things, and we fixate on them. What we want to do is shift our attention to, how can I be more honest now and moving forward? How can I reveal the parts of myself that have been, shut down, restricted? Those answers will come naturally, and they will unfold in our lives as we so allow them to. Allowing whatever emotions to come up, allowing them a safe container for their present moment, reveals the wisdom and the truth that they are meant to share with us. This divine timing that we live in, this beautiful life experience, it always holds truth. And the more that we can open ourselves up to it, the more we're going to be able to share it with the world, with our loved ones, with the people in our life. It's a perfect loop. It's beautiful. And the most empowering thing we can do is to be fully honest. That's where authentic self comes out. That's where we begin magnetizing what is truly meant for us. And a lot of it is in the unknowing. A lot of it is unpredictable. It can't be mapped out as we might have found safety in the past. Becoming more comfortable with trusting. whether it's yourself, it's God, building that trust in intentional honesty. Intentional honesty. No matter how small it may seem, it is making a difference, especially if it's something that we feel has been limiting us in our expressions. When we're rooted in honesty and truthful intention, we limit other people's power over us, other situations' power over us, because we're raw with what's going on right now. We don't allow our blind spots to run the show. It's true engagement. And you can do this in any moment, no matter how fearful you may have been in the past in certain ideas. You can do this if you choose. That's the most important thing. And you have to see the value in honesty first. You have to see how it's the key to knowing. It's the key to your fullness. It's how you can eliminate these unauthentic vibrations from your field, from your life, from your loops. Tapping into this is just so stunning, to know that we each have our own unique interpretation of honesty and how it comes through us in the way that it's meant to. And we just have to really move things out of the way. And the more that we trust that fullness of honest expression, the more it's going to lead us on our path. It's going to bring us closer to fulfillment and fullness. And it's a matter of finding that for yourself. How can you do that for yourself? You know how. You do know how. It's so exciting. And it's a continuous kind of thing. And the more that you can create that safe container for your honesty, the more you're going to love who you are, your honest truth, no matter who agrees with it, no matter how it's perceived by the world. You're showing up as you are, and that's the best thing that you can do for this planet, for your loved ones, for yourself, and that's why God created you. Well, my darling friends, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for this kind of chaotic video. I hope dearly that it brought you a little bit of enlightenment, and I hope that you do apply this to your daily life, to the moments that follow, and may you empower yourself to be authentic, be expressive, be honest each and every moment. With love, until next time.